Allan, you got my car ready for me. I'm driving today, right?
Yeah? That's right. Yeah. We've moved the seat back especially for you. So that
Excellent. How much do you love driving this car?
It's just the most sensational thing. I mean, I've been driving it for 22 years and I still get a kick every time I start it.
It is just the best, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even care what that Ferrari is behind you, and I've got one.
It's just a Ferrari, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they make thousands of those a year, and they made one of these in total.
Yeah. It is a really special car. You're going to take it out on the Mercedes-Benz World Track, leading the pack as.
No, I'll be following the pack. I mean, I'll go out first, but I'm running at the end of the session.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we just run it alone.
Yeah.
With none of the more humdrum stuff around.
So while we've got time, can you tell us a bit about the Napier for anyone who's not familiar with her?
Yeah. So it was built in 1933 for John Cobb. Who was already an established racing driver here, and he had it built specifically to be the fastest car possible around Brooklands, but also to set long distance endurance records. It was never a land speed record car, but it was designed to set long distance records. So it's a complete one-off. The engine is a modified aeroplane engine, but everything else on the car except the steering box was made specifically for it. Steering box is off a vintage Bentley. It cost a huge amount of money, well over £1 million in today's money, for it to be built in 1933. It was designed by Railton, which is why it's called the Napier Railton. Napier is the engine, Railton was the designer, and it was built here at the track in the Thompson and Taylor workshops down at the bottom end of the circuit. So it was completed in 1933. It came out towards the end of the 1933 season as an instant winner. It raced here not that many times because there weren't that many races for it, but the important things were it was the fastest car ever around the Brooklands track, average speed of 143.44 miles an hour, which was set on the 7th of October 1935, so literally 90 years and 3 days ago. It also won the fastest ever 500-mile race, any circuit anywhere in the world before the war. That was the 1935 BRDC 500 miles, which it won at a speed that would have won Indianapolis in the States any time up until the early 50s. It then set a number of long-distance records, set some records up to 6 hours and then up to 18 hours on the track at Montlhéry in France in 1933 and 34, and then in 35, because Montlhéry wasn't quick enough, they took it to Bonneville in the States, and in 1935 set a 24-hour record at an average speed of just over 138 miles an hour for 24 hours. That wasn't good enough because an American, Ab Jenkins, got the record straight back. So in 36, Cobb went out again, team of 4 drivers with a bigger fuel tank, 100-gallon tank instead of the 65-gallon tank it normally ran on, a few other modifications, and it became the first car ever to average 150 miles an hour for 24 hours. So it did 3,600 miles and a bit in 24 hours, which is like basically driving from here to Salt Lake in a day.
Well, that's all well and good, but what MPG did she get?
On the circuit, running on a big 12-mile circle on the salt flats with pretty much a fixed throttle position, it was really economic. Did nearly 5 miles to the gallon.
Wow, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Doing effectively 160 miles an hour all the time.
That's good, if not better, than some of the vintage Bentleys.
Yeah, but doing the sort of work we're doing today, it's doing less than a mile to the gallon.
Okay.
So, for instance, when we run it at Goodwood, or as we did recently on the sheer hill climb, warm it up a mile up the hill and a mile back down again, 2 miles total running, half of it downhill, and we use 3.5 gallons of fuel to do those 2 miles.
That's quite a lot. So she is quite rightly the pride of the museum here, But she doesn't just stay here. She's in the Campbell shed when she's here, but she doesn't just stay here. You do take her around the country to various events as well.
Yep, we normally do the Goodwood Festival of Speed with it. As I say, we try and take it out to at least one guest event each year. So this year we took it to Shear. Last year we did Shuttleworth's Race Day with it. I've done Prescott Hill Climb with it. We've run it at the Brighton Speed Trials.
I've seen you drive her along the beach at Pendine Sands before as well.
You have indeed. We would have loved to take it back to Pendine this year, actually, which would have been 75 years since the world's worst movie, Pandora and the Flying Dutchman, was made with shooting, quote, land speed record footage at Pendine Sands. But unfortunately, the MOD was firing large bits of metal up and down the beach at Pendine, so we couldn't run it on the beach, so there was no point in taking it there. But yeah, it's done a lot of stuff over the years. That movie was made in 1950. After that, it was used for testing aircraft braking parachutes on the runway at Dunsfold. It was vintage raced for several years by the Hon Patrick Lindsay. It then sat in the Midland Motor Museum for a good few years. Went through a couple of other hands, including spent a spell of about 6 years in Germany in a private collection, and then it came back to the UK in the late 90s, and the museum bought it in 1997, and this is where it now stays forever. As I say, we take it out and run it at various events. It also, a couple of times a year, goes up and sits in pride of place in the foyer of the Peninsula Hotel in central London, where there is a space specifically its size to fit in. And if you ever go to the Peninsula Hotel, the top floor is entirely done out as Brooklands, and including a Napier Railton room, which is lined completely with these louvered aluminium panels, just like on the bonnet of the car.
Well, I think that's a great excuse to go there. And you said she's a complete one-off. However, there is another one under construction on this very site.
There is indeed. It's slightly lighter and slightly smaller by a factor of about 3. Yes, the team at the Heritage Skills Academy are building a cycle cart, which is one of these things with a little, basically a lawnmower engine in it. And instead of being capable of 170 miles an hour, the new one will be capable of about 35 miles an hour. Be somewhat lighter, probably a lot easier to drive with a little automatic transmission. But yes, it's going to be a very exciting thing to do. There, as you can imagine, from a bunch of apprentices who are learning the arts of coach building, it is being done to a phenomenally high standard, and is an utterly beautiful looking little thing.
It's an absolutely fascinating project, and I'm looking forward to seeing it parked next to the full-size Napier. Well, the sun's come out for us now here, and you're about to head onto the track, so I'd better let you go and get ready. Yeah,
I need to gather my thoughts, as they say.
Yes. I'll see you on the track.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Thank you.
So, if you've ever wondered how we start a Napier Railton, Allan did tell me you need a Rugby 7 to start it, and he wasn't kidding. It has to be bump started, so you don't get to see this very often.
Okay.
Here we go.
Don't weigh yourself out at this point. Gates open. Okay, go for it. Yes, we're done. Yes.
And there she goes. You just made that Porsche owner very nervous.
He shouldn't have left his car there, should he?
Did you enjoy that?
I did.